Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we're reviewing our third pick from Detective June. Today we're going to be talking about my pick from the wheel, or I guess for Detective June, The Kid Detective.
I used to be loved. I used to be a kid detective.
We're all really counting on you.
I was so far ahead of the game. But one day I just woke up behind.
This guy in my homeroom claims he practiced with the Mets. I need to find out if he's lying.
He's lying. So what can I help you with?
Somebody murdered my boyfriend.
Seriously?
Pretty seriously. He was stabbed 17 times.
Is it possible he was involved in drugs?
No, he would never do drugs.
Gambling?
No, he would never gamble.
Demon worship?
No, he would never worship a demon.
Here comes the kid detective.
Someone's following us.
This isn't safe. You're trying to see how my head works. Somebody's testing me.
All right. The Kid Detective.
Oh, it's you.
From 2020. Written and directed by Evan Morgan. An auteur, Canadian. It's a Canadian production. And this is starring Adam Brody as Abe Applebaum, the titular kid detective, turned into the detective. Mm-hmm. Also, a number of other people you probably wouldn't recognize. I really think there was really anybody in this that I recognized besides Adam Brody.
No.
Jonathan Whittaker as Mr. Applebaum, his dad. Wendy Crewson as Mrs. Applebaum, his mom. A lot of smaller characters, and then Gracie Gulliver, played by Caitlin Chalmers Rosato, is the young Gracie Gulliver. And I think that this is probably since it's a relatively lesser known movie. What do you guys say that we don't spoil this until one point? We'll give a delineator at some point in the show, because the reveal, I think, is a part of the appeal
Charm
to me of this movie.
Yeah.
And it has it culminates at the end in a way that's, I don't want to call it satisfying, but there is a finite resolution to it. And I think that ruins if we were to just give it here. So okay, so the reason I picked this was because this was something that a movie that was turned on to me from Jason Kleberg from Force 5 podcast, friend of the show. And he mentioned it on his show. It was just a movie he'd watched. It blew him away, and I take his recommendations pretty strong to heart. He's got a good movie taste. And I watched it, and it was like, this is fucking phenomenal. More people should watch this movie. I showed Brianna. She loved it. Bought it on Blu-ray, watched it again. I've probably seen this movie like 5 or 6 times since it came out in 2020, and it's like every time I watch it, I find myself laughing and smiling and cringing, and I think it takes a lot of the tropes of the detective movie that we've been talking about throughout this whole month and puts them under the microscope and kind of flips them on their head a little bit, much like One Punch Man does to anime. Mm-hmm. You watch anime and you're like, oh, here's the trope of the guy that's overpowered, but he's a fucking dope.
Yeah.
And in this movie, you take the trope of the kid detective, the Hardy Boys style detective who has the detective in his detective agency in his treehouse, and he solves the mystery of the stolen church fundraiser money. Yeah. And you're like, okay, this is goofy. Kids are paying him to find out who stole their bike.
Yeah.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, like Mystery Team almost, you know. And just like Mystery Team, he gets a case that is way above their pay grade when he's a youngster. And he basically has to find the missing kidnapped child, Gracie, his classmate and receptionist at his detective agency, kid detective agency, Gracie Gulliver. And spoiler alert, he can't find her. So flash forward from a 12-year-old to a 32-year-old 20 years later, and now he's still in that same office, still in the same hometown, but the charm of being a kid detective is worn off, and now he's a washed-up has-been.
Yeah.
And it's the story there. I think there's so many ways that they could have like progressed the story or written the story, and I just adore the way it laid out and the way that Evan Morgan wrote the movie and directed it. It's a great looking movie. The soundtrack is wonderful.
Writer on The Dirties too.
Yeah. There's some crossover there. He was basically paired up with
Matt Johnson,
and the composer Jay McCarroll also did the composing for The Dirties and Operation Avalanche and Blackberry.
Oh, okay.
So they're in that same kind of like crew.
Yeah.
And when you come from that crew, I think that it's kind of safe to say that you probably have some high expectations because those movies are, I think, great.
And it's his first. This is his first feature.
This is his directorial debut. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Heather's in the chat. She says, "Hi, nice to see that you're feeling better, Tyler."
Thank you, Heather.
Well wishes. Yes. So
feeling good.
That was a perfect moment.
Yeah, very good. So anyways, that's the reason why I've seen it before many times. As I said, you guys haven't seen it before, right?
No,
I have not. No.
And this is one of the few times where I'm happy you haven't taken my advice to watch this movie. And it's a rental. It hasn't been streaming anywhere for free, so you had to rent it unless you have it on Blu-ray. But I'm glad you didn't because now we get to watch it fresh. We get to get your honest opinion on it. Completely blank slate. So, Tyler, you want to lead us off? Give us your opinion on the Kid Detective.
Yeah. So I didn't look into this movie at all. Like when you said that you were going to choose it for this month. And for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be like a crappy, like late 90s movie, like just kind of like a tongue-in-cheek like choice for this month. I don't know why I thought that. I'm like thinking of like a kid detective movie, but that's campy. I just thought that it was
like Scooby-Doo or Hardy Boys or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
you had a preconceived notion of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So turned it on and I was like, oh, this is modern. This isn't from like the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. It starts out really great. And like you said, it was like it looks like a really good movie. And the acting is well done. The story is simple enough. The kid is a little bit arrogant, but he's not annoyingly arrogant. So it was easy to like get over like that hump of like, oh, this kid's an arrogant kid.
I like the line though where he says, "Sometimes I laid awake at night thinking, am I the smartest person alive?"
As soon as he said that, I like rolled my eyes. I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I think that the way that they like built this movie where they would go to the past and to the present and how that like made sense moving the plot forward.
Yeah.
And I really liked the idea of him being a kid and then having like a super heavy case put on him, which really should have been on the police for the police and not like some 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I like that he continued to be essentially a PI up into his adulthood. His parents are disappointed in him. And in the beginning, like his house is like a complete mess. And the dad immediately says, "How's the financials?" Like not even saying hi or anything, just "How's the financials?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck you.
Hit it a little close to home, Tyler.
Yeah.
Daryl, get off my back.
So this was just a really solid movie with some good performances. I liked the story, the main plot of it, while also it peppering in like his past,
finding the girl's murderer or the girl's boyfriend's murderer.
Yeah, that one I thought that I'm not. This isn't a spoiler or anything, but the inevitable twist at the end like really took me off guard.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah. The scene is something.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really solid movie, and I'm so glad. And it has a bunch of even if you know the ending, it still has a bunch of rewatchability to it. Because it's just fun. So yeah, great movie. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. This has become in a list of my ever-changing top favorite movies.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm gonna watch it again soon.
High up there, huh?
Yeah, it was that good.
Good.
I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, spoiler alert! Oh. Oops, wrong one.
I didn't write a review for it because I just couldn't think of anything to say. I should have just wrote, it's good.
There
It's
you go.
good.
As if the 5-star rating didn't tell you.
It is your birthday.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, great recommendation.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph, how'd you like the movie?
I thought that it was pretty fucking fantastic.
All right.
And when I first put it on, Deanna was like, "Oh, it's like a lighthearted movie," and it's like it is pretty lighthearted for the most part.
For most of it, yeah.
While he is like the asshole of the story, and he's not like a character. Adam Brody's character, the main character, is not like his adult self is not the most likable person, right?
No, not at all.
But it falls into the trope of like these noir movies where, well, this guy's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And it uses a lot of it pulls a lot of inspiration from those movies. And there are probably parts of this movie where it could have been black and white in certain scenes where it's like where they leaned into that sort of noir lighting. But then obviously it has the modern filmmaking throughout most of it. I think specifically in his office with the blinds and the way it's lit. Overall, though, the production quality of the movie, it looks like they put thought, like a lot of thought into
for sure,
blocking and lighting and set design and everything, because it looks really clean. Like it looks very like it looks a lived-in world. It doesn't look I don't know what, like Hallmarky or something like that. It
doesn't look like a set.
It looks good. It looks really good. And I like the sort of overconfident kind of attitude he has. While it's like he looks like he definitely looks like he knows what he's doing, but then when he goes and talks to the victim's friend and asks him a question, and the kid's just like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
And
the follow-up to that's great too.
Your dad's gay.
Yeah.
It's just like a childish insult, even if it wasn't like maybe true. Like it's just like a childish insult.
Yeah.
I think that was probably has to do with the case that his mom was asking him about.
No, I know it does, but
it's so funny.
Even if that wasn't a thing, if his response, it's still childish.
For sure.
It was really funny though.
I saw that response coming a mile away when he's like, "You don't know what you're doing." I was like, "He's gonna say his dad's gay."
Well, yeah, because it came right after. He's like, "Don't mention it at all."
Yeah,
don't mention it as well because
Yeah,
they think his dad's gay. So like for like, I guess like 80% of the movie, it gets a little bit darker as you get towards the end as he starts unraveling things, but then the last, I guess like 20 minutes of it turns into like fucking prisoners. like,
seriously,
I'm like, holy shit! This took a turn, a very sharp turn, and I loved it. And I was a huge fan of the end, like the very, very end,
where he's sitting on the couch with his parents.
Yes,
yeah.
Because it's like it's a little bit ambiguous on what it means, and you can infer a lot of stuff out of it, on what it means for his character. And it's like all that character development and all that time that he grew up from being a kid detective to where he is now, and all the cases that he's solved, maybe, and like what it means for his life that he's led so far is like, well, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah,
pretty heavy stuff to deal with, like retroactively, because it repaints everything that you've done or what you thought you've done.
Well, for sure.
And it was really, really well executed and really well written, I think. Just really solid, and it was also really funny. Like it blends a lot of genres really well, and it's like being a detective movie without it. It's like paying homage to these detective movies, but it's not like a parody of a detective movie.
You're right. It's right on the line of that.
It's not like a Police Squad or something.
No,
it's not something like that where it's like obviously we're making fun of this genre of movie, but they are taking making light of those movies, but still paying sort of homage to them at the same time, and especially with the music and the narration and all that stuff, and the woman, the girl who comes in and is like they're like partners essentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's like has all those bits that make a detective movie.
Yeah.
Put into one very delightful and kind of pretty depressing movie.
when it's all said and done.
Yeah. But yeah, I really, really liked it. And it's I don't know if it's ever been streaming for free.
No,
it's always,
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Never seen it streaming for free anywhere, which is a shame.
Yeah.
More people should see it. And honestly, I think it's worth the $4 rental.
Yeah. And it's definitely an underseen, underrated movie for sure.
Yeah. It's a gem.
Not talked about enough. And it's got a solid rating on IMDb. It's like, it has all the makings of like a movie that you would think is well known.
Adam Brody.
Yeah. The leading man, Adam Brody.
He's a charming guy.
Yeah, he is.
Like, even though he's a piece of shit in this for a lot of it, you still like him.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think he's a piece of shit. I think he is problematic. But a piece of shit.
I don't think he's problematic at all. I think he's a piece of shit.
What did he
Very different. Very different.
His hair slicks back pretty well.
Yeah. It's got 71,000 logged views on it on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not completely underseen, but that's still pretty small. I mean, I still feel like more people should see this.
Oh,
like the population of Sacramento.
That's 70,000. Elk Grove is 180,000.
Okay, so it's less than half.
Yeah, it's less than half of just this town.
Yeah.
We're in.
So
Cool. Well, I'm glad you really liked it.
yeah,
I'm glad both you guys liked it.
Yeah, I love this movie.
So I guess, obviously I liked it. It's my pick.
Oh, you liked it?
It's a movie I've seen it many times. Instant buy. It was the instant buy for me. It was one of these, there's things that as soon as I finish watching a movie, I'm like looking on Amazon to buy the thing or whatever, or Orbit DVD. And I think what the really great thing about this is, for one, I already like detective movies. I like noirs for the most part. I don't like them all, but I like the genre. And it operates in that, like, the rules of that genre.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also takes this concept that we're all familiar with of, like, the Encyclopedia Brown or Hardy Boys or any of those kid detectives with their
Nancy Drew,
Scooby-Doo. I know they're supposed to be like teenagers, or, Fred looks like he's 40 years old with the ascot. But you're familiar with that. And then they show you all those tropes of that familiar genre too at the beginning, where it's like, oh, I used to find myself in someone's house looking for clues, and it always happens where they come home and you have to hide in the closet and you almost get away and then you sneeze. And it's like, that's such a specific scenario, but we've seen it a million times in there, or at least we think so. Like, it's in the zeitgeist. You don't have to have seen those movies to realize that genre exists, or that trope exists within the genre. So you see that, but then you see the payoff to it is what it's like. Well, what if that was a fucking adult in your closet?
I loved that.
And that entire sequence was just gut wrenching.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, what the hell's gonna happen? He's gonna get arrested.
And he did. He's labeled as a pedophile.
Like, after just watching Friendship and seeing some of that type of editing where you don't see like the in-between phase, or like just cuts to him in the police station.
Yeah, with the chief.
Because me and Deanna are watching and we're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? He just went from one closet to another.
Yeah. He's in the hallway for a second and she walked right by him, and then he runs.
And they're playing fucking Pong.
I know. That little chubby kid was so funny.
Yeah.
When he's sitting and interviewing him, and he's like, I'm sorry, Caroline. He had a concubine.
Concubine.
I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but yeah, and it's like, that kid, just the little, and I think this is where I think the overlap between The Dirties or Blackberry and this work. Like, we can see they feel like they might be in the same universe, because all those properties, all those movies have interesting dialogue that doesn't pertain to the character directly and doesn't pertain to the story directly, but just makes the world seem more lived in and real and fun.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, he goes, man, it smells good. What is that? Cupcakes. Can I have one? No. Why is that? Your mom got you on a diet? No, they're for my sister.
And my mom already counted them.
Is she on a diet? No, she's just not very popular at school. My mom already counted them. And then he comments on the fact at the diner that he's like, those cupcakes were fucking killing me. He's just eating. He's hungry. And then when he breaks back into the house later, he eats one of the cupcakes. Yeah. It's like, it's a 3-part. That's great.
Yeah.
But the dialogue of that character, how serious he is. And even Adam Brody's character, Abe, when he's like the chubby kid's about to spill the beans about whatever it is. And he goes, all right, I got to tell you. And he flips out his notepad to take notes. Mm-hmm. And he goes, he collected bottle caps. And he just like puts it away immediately.
Yeah, it makes that look too just...
Yeah, he's like, oh.
Thousands of them.
I know. He lies, Caroline, about movies he hadn't seen, but he said he had.
Books he's read.
He was impatient with disabled people. You're like, what?
Shit on his grave.
I know. It's like he's like trying to sully this guy's name. But it's like all those little bits.
I couldn't tell if he was honestly telling the truth or not.
I think he was telling the truth.
Well, he was because in his...
and then the bottle caps were there. So
bottle caps were there. The picture of the tiger mask girl was there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't there.
Yeah, we find it later. Yeah. But he took it from the locker. You find out later he took it from the locker. But so it's like that makes the story, I think, fantastic. And then another one part of the story, which ties into that kid detective, what life would be like 20 years later. When he gets free ice cream for life from the candy shop.
Oh, yeah.
And the Mr. What's his name? Hepburn, Mr. Hepburn. And he just, this disdain in his face when he sees Abe in line and asks for
God damn it.
pralines and cream. And he's like, 20 years later, he's still getting fucking ice cream every day. You cheap ass broke son of a bitch. You see, it's all just laid out perfectly in the reaction of the person. Mm-hmm. But then the joyful part of it, maybe not joyful, but I think the impactful part is that it is a serious story. You're talking about a child, a 13 or 14-year-old child who was stabbed 17 times in this small town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you deal with like his parents. The parents of that scene with the parents is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
He's just
the president of China there.
Yeah, it's true. He's trying his best to be professional, but you're like, he's way out of his league. Mm-hmm. Way out of his league. And when the dad asks him, he's like, I've solved 200 cases. You know, how many of them are murders? You're like, what is he going to say? He's going to say no to this guy's face?
Yeah.
3.
See, that's a realistic number too for saying you've done 200 cases.
I guess, but it's like, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And you're sympathizing with him because you're like, he does want what's best for the community, and he feels that immense shame from what he thought was my purpose in life. My purpose in life as a kid was to be this detective, and I've helped so many people, but the one time it really mattered when my friend went missing, I couldn't do it. And I think it's all encapsulated in that phone call between one of his other classmates when he's standing in the kitchen as a kid, and she's like, my mom said not to tell you this, but we're all really counting on you.
That was a heavy scene.
And it wasn't, she doesn't even say, do you have any leads? She's like, how long do you think until you find what's her name? Gracie. Until you find Gracie. It's like the kids assume that he's going to do it because he solves everything. He's the smartest kid alive. So I really loved that. And then I loved also how they take like certain tropes of the detective genre, like the villain layer where everyone's like standing around playing poker or not playing poker, playing pool. And he's getting frisked to go for, you think it's for a gun, but it's for peanuts.
Yeah. That was
it takes this big picture of this like trope that we're familiar with and shrinks it down to a small town realistic level.
Because isn't it all people that he went to school with?
Yeah.
That just grew up.
They all lived there.
Yeah.
That kid is the one that he mentioned stole the stuff from the kid's desk. He says, oh, it's Clive so-and-so because he didn't take the peanut butter cups. Mm-hmm. Anybody would have taken the peanut butter cups, but he's allergic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like all these little names he dropped along the way get paid off as an adult later, and he's living with all these assholes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Rory Beans?
Yeah, I think it was Rory.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just like Batman. He's like in the asylum with all the people he put away.
Yeah.
But he's living in the society with the guy that keeps beating him up because he falsely accused him of taking the fundraiser money. Yeah. So for all those reasons, plus what you guys said, it looks great. There is a deliberate attention to lighting and production. There's scenes where it's an interior scene and the sun rays are coming through the glass, and it just looks really good.
Yeah.
It's not you can't accidentally make a good looking movie. It takes a lot of intention and a lot of care and experience to make a movie that looks good like that.
This was his first movie.
Yeah, well,
first feature.
And he's helped on other features as well, and contributed to other features. But this is his project. And then of course the reveal, the interior scene, the one-on-one conversation where he's sitting across who I won't say, and you're like the music goes away, the snappy editing goes away, the humor goes away. It turns into holy shit.
Shit got real.
There's real monsters in the world, even in this goofy world we've been living in.
And it gets worse.
And then when
significantly worse.
Then when you think it's over and he's like decompressing and he looks in the fridge and he sees what he sees, and it gets worse. And then, like Joseph said, sitting on the couch across from his parents, and that reaction, and then the cheery music pops back in.
Yeah, sugar town.
Sugar town. Yeah, Nancy Sinatra, by the way. But yeah, just start to finish, and I've seen it 5-6 times maybe, and it's just as good last time as the first time. So, very cool. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Any specific scenes you guys wanted to talk about?
Well, can we get into the spoilers now?
Oh, sure. Let's do. Do I have any sort of sound drops where I can delineate that? All right. From here on out, you have been warned. Spoilers.
Should we do grades for it?
Spoilers ahead. Yeah, sure. Let's do some grades.
So that it's like a
mean,
final for
and then we can go into spoilers
Do
afterwards.
we really have to do grades? I think we all know.
No, it's what do you want? What's yours?
Yeah, A+. A+ for sure.
A+. Joseph, what do you give it?
yeah, A+.
That makes 3 of us, baby!
Yeah. Triple A. Damn it.
All right, so from here on out, spoilers beware. It's if you listen any further, you're gonna get some spoilers.
Hell yeah!
All the listeners were just like, "What?"
So we get to the end, and the whole time the movie we've been following the murder. There's two stories.
The murder.
There's the kidnapping, and then there's the murder. And the kidnapping is an unsolved mystery.
Yeah.
That unsolved mystery that he couldn't bring to fruition, it basically colors his entire future. It colors the present that we're living in for him. So it's not like it goes away and you forget about it. It's constantly referenced.
It haunts him.
They still have posters of her up and stuff like that. And it's like the town's never been the same since then. Blah, 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 blah.
And early in the movie, the mom asked him to find her cat.
Oh, yeah, that is her mom.
Yeah.
Did you find my cat? Actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because as an audience, you do too. But that story is basically an unsolved mystery, and you don't expect that to be resolved. But through circumstance, he gets the what?
Also, her husband kills himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He was the mayor.
He was the mayor, yeah.
He kills himself.
Yeah.
So her daughter gets kidnapped, and then her husband hangs himself.
And then her cat gets lost.
No, yeah.
I think, by the way, I think your cat's dead. So anyways, there's one clue that sets him off is that Caroline is the girl who hired him to find her murder of her boyfriend.
Yeah, Caroline.
And she says, I know it was he used to fold up origami and give me origami in my locker. And two things don't stand out to that. Number one, how did he get the origami in the locker?
Right.
He would have to have the combination.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
There also her realization, like, am I a racist?
Yeah. He goes,
because he's the only Asian at our school.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, origami's Japanese actually, and he's Chinese, so.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so racist. But so he wouldn't be able to get the origami in there with the locker locked. So it wouldn't have been him. But then the second time is after he already died. There's more origami in the locker. So now
it's still happening.
Still happening.
Yeah.
So now he knows, she knows, and he knows that it really wasn't him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They assume it's the chubby friend.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly got a thing for Caroline.
Yeah.
Breaks into his house and finds that disturbing note in his desk.
Yeah, the lyrics to the poem or the song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the way, him watching the kid jam out to that butt rock music the whole time.
It felt like the kid knew he was there.
You think so?
That's what it felt like. And that's why he wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't believable. Who listens to this music this loud?
I think...
Playing Pong of all games.
Yeah.
It's probably just copyright free.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then, so anyways, but when he's reviewing the documents of the case, and he's looking at his notes and photos and all this stuff, he sees that yellow piece of paper that's unfolded origami. It's like a balloon or a rose or whatever it is, but it's just folded piece of paper, unfolded. Now you can see all the creases and stuff in it. If you watch at the very beginning of the movie, when he's looking at the case from the missing girl from Gracie, there is a piece of folded up origami paper on his desk in the clues. It shuffles by it very quickly.
Oh, is there?
On a second watch,
Yeah.
you'll see it. And he puts two and two together and has to go to the case files he's stored in his parents' garage.
Shed or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. And he finds the folded piece of paper.
Yeah.
At that point, does he know it's the principal?
I don't know if he knows it's the principal. I'm trying to remember the event.
He goes to visit the principal to ask him about...
Oh, about yeah, he doesn't suspect the principal, I think, outright, but
when he first talks to the principal, he goes and visits him to ask, what's he asking for? He asks him for a favor. Is it to get into the locker?
He's asking about what's the kid's name, the victim's name.
Okay.
The victim.
Mhm.
And then he's like, well, you got to help me out with something. And there's a bunch of broken beakers in science class. And he tells him about the overnighters.
The overnighters, yeah.
And then they kind of divulge information.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about, the principal talks about the victim being like, yeah, he was quiet, kept to himself kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And how he ends, like how he realizes that it is, or that he to go talk to the principal, or to go to his house,
To break into his house,
yeah. Because he finds the piece of unfolded paper in his like old files, right, and from there, I'm like blanking on where it goes.
Yeah,
I think he just puts two and two together that he knows that the principal went into the locker because he has the code to the lockers.
Oh no, it's he found the picture with the
no, but that's once he breaks into the house.
He's getting flashbacks, and somebody mentions like, well, we had to register all of our locker numbers through the principal.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he was the only one who had access to it. I think so. I think that's the connection. That's the connection there.
That's when he breaks into the house. You don't even know whose house it is when he breaks into it.
See, we solved a mystery of us not remembering something from a movie
There
that
you
we've
go.
seen less than
There
24
you
hours
go.
ago.
And but it's great in that regard because they don't spoon feed it to you. They don't. He's not speaking the exposition out loud.
Yeah.
He just goes to the house, and he finds the picture. He picks the lock of the safe or the little lock box, finds a picture of the blonde girl in the tiger mask and only the tiger mask.
Yeah.
And then, but he leaves his paperclip.
Yeah.
He leaves a paperclip.
Yeah, I think he like dropped it.
He drops it because he hears somebody come in.
Goes for the closet, then realizes no, I goes under the bed.
Abe, I know you're in the closet.
That gave me a chill down my spine when he said that.
Yeah,
I was surprised the first time I saw it where he says, "I'm actually under the bed." I figured he would have just
not said anything
and assumed he would never found him. Yeah. But that exchange afterwards when he's sitting there is tense.
Yes,
tense.
Yeah, because it's the principal, by the way.
Yeah,
spoilers. And he's revealing the information. Like he obviously knows that Abe knows, so it's not like a secret anymore. And so he just
at this point he's basically breaking the he's breaking the kidnapping case, not the murder case.
Yeah, not yet. And then, he's kidnapped Gracie, and then he mentions that he had to give up their daughter.
Yeah.
And then earlier in the movie, Caroline makes up this crazy. Well, she doesn't make it up, but she tells a story about her parents.
Yeah,
who died in a downhill. Both died in a downhill skiing accident.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, I feel like she's lying.
And the one photo she has of her parents, they're both skiing.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a stock photo.
Yeah, I wasn't saying stock photo.
At first, when she said that, and it might have been a red herring because I was like, I feel like she's lying about that because that's very outlandish. And but it was not true, but she wasn't intentionally lying.
Yeah, that's what she was told, and she believed it.
She was according to her grandparents, she was a gift from Jesus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the principal reveals that there was fucking rape involved, and then
he kidnapped Gracie,
pedophile rapist,
raped her. She had a child. He gave away the child, and the child was Caroline.
Yes,
that was an insane twist.
That was fucking crazy.
And then she's still alive.
And well, not yet.
Yeah,
we don't know that yet. And then Abe was just sitting there listening to this, and I feel like he has like no words at this because this is his old man monologue.
Yeah.
And then
what a fantastically acted scene.
And then he just goes, "What now?"
Yeah.
And he pulls out the fucking knife, and I'm like, I knew he was gonna kill himself.
You thought so?
I just didn't know how he was gonna do it. I thought he was gonna
slit. Yeah.
But no,
twice in the heart.
More brutal than you think. And then
how?
A pretty fantastic dying performance.
Yeah.
And it was just, what do? You're just fucking watching this guy do this to himself.
Yeah. Mouth agape.
Yeah. And yeah, like Abe's reaction is probably more or less what I would react if someone stabbed themselves in the heart in front of me. I'd be like,
okay, what if they shot himself in the head? What would you do then?
I would I would be like, ah!
Can we do a Tyler on the spot and give a reaction? All right, Tyler. Someone's you're sitting in front of somebody. They got a gun to their head. Bang. Very good.
Okay, well, what do you do right after that?
I'd be like,
rats.
Wow.
I'd be like, oh, jeez.
Oh, fuck.
I'd be like,
oh,
I'd probably just like go like this over the table, like, oh.
Yeah.
What is that?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Guys, are you okay?
And then
Doug?
and then I'd be like, okay. Okay.
And then you leave.
And then I'd be like, oh yeah, 911.
All right, now it's a stabbing. Okay, ready? I'm saying across the table from you. Oh. What's your reaction? That's it?
I'd probably
have the
look
hardest
around,
boner
be
right
looking
now.
around, and be like,
get this man in front of a camera. All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think go back to the 3-up.
Oh yeah.
We have the interaction between the two of them I think is also really good because the principal basically says, I've always been easy on you because we're both the same. The world doesn't believe that we're capable of what we really are. Because he's like, everybody thinks that he's a shitty detective, whatever, and he can't actually do it. But he's like, he actually solved it.
Yeah.
All these years later, he redeemed himself. And at the same time, the principal, nobody thinks that he's capable of it.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's a principal. He's a kind old man. But really, he's a fucking monster.
Didn't he say something along the lines that he was testing him too and his skill as a detective? I feel like he said something.
Yeah,
like that.
when he was younger.
He's planted the donation box on the guy that keeps beating him up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He planted the donations box in his desk. The principal did.
Yeah.
After Abe says, well, maybe it was so-and-so because he got bit by a dog last summer and the funds were supposed to be for the animal shelter. So he doesn't like dogs, which means that he was probably it.
Yeah.
So he planted it and then they found it and the kid got in trouble. And basically the principal's just like, oh, I can just let this kid do whatever he wants. Like he's just going to believe whatever I tell him. Sort of a thing. Which I don't know if that really holds water, but.
Yeah. And then looks out of the shed.
Oh, you know why he looks out of the shed? Did you notice it in the fridge?
No.
He gets the bottle of beer and he chugs it. He's borderline alcoholic. And then he looks back in the fridge and there's grape soda in there. That's what he was paying his receptionist to. He's like, I paid her in grape soda. And so she was sipping grape soda in the one scene where she's at the receptionist desk. And then
Gracie was the receptionist?
Yeah, Gracie was the receptionist. And then he's like, grape soda. Fucking old man's not drinking 12-pack of grape soda. And then he looks into the backyard and sees the shed.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the shed was supposed to be like looking like his like treehouse office that he got taken down. Didn't they take it down?
Somebody cut the tree down.
Okay, yeah. So I thought it was his office from the treehouse, and I thought that's what he was recognizing because he looked.
Oh, before he opens the door.
Yeah, because he looks out and he's like, "That's my treehouse."
Oh no,
I don't know. I think that might be a stretch.
That's not it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's incorrect.
Damn.
Yeah, but then he goes out there and it's like, okay, he opens it, and I think it's just going to be remnants of a room.
Yeah,
but
I thought she was dead because
Yeah.
it said she didn't last long.
Yeah.
After we gave
So I thought
our
it was,
daughter away.
I thought it was just going to be like the movie Room situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, and she's there, and she's
obese,
traumatized,
and looks like a golem.
Oh,
I feel so bad for her.
and it's 20 years.
20 years. Yeah.
And she's obviously stunted at growth.
Well, she was supposed to be. I mean, she was 14 when she was kidnapped, and
Really?
yeah, she was
She
14.
did not look like a 14-year-old.
Wow, Tyler,
Why'd you look like?
you sound like the principal now.
Well, no, I'm just saying she looked like she was
My
like
word.
11. I didn't realize they established ages.
The principal does say she got exactly what she wanted.
Oh.
The whole town was looking for her. Everyone in the whole country knew her name for those 3 months. And she used to come by my office just to show off her outfits. And you're like,
Oh, because
great.
the popularity thing, or she wanted to be popular.
Yeah, there's a little allusion to that when she's walking with her friend, and she goes, "Oh, I met a really cute boy." Da 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 da. And she's like, "You always meet cute boys. I'm so tired of it. Everyone likes you."
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, I met a boy. But yeah, that's what he's basically saying is like she wanted it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's trying to justify.
He's justifying, yeah. And I also like his line where he says, "I took something beautiful away from this world, but I gave something back."
Balance is
balances.
restored.
Yeah, and that's
It's
when
like Thanos.
That's when he pulls out the picture of the Asian kid and is like, "Yeah, well, what about him?
Mm-hmm.
No, this balance is not restored.
Yeah.
You took away another innocent life."
And then he kills himself to restore the balance.
Hey, I do like his response to him. He's like, I was a little relieved when she started dating him. I always found him like sexless and irrelevant.
So it was
what a description of someone.
Sexless
it was
and
like
irrelevant.
it was like a controlling like power thing.
I think he realized, yeah, he's like, you're not gonna wine and dine my daughter.
My daughter that doesn't know that she's my daughter.
No, exactly.
And that I raped and kidnapped her mother.
And then after it's all said and done, after everything is revealed, and he gets back to the office, he's for one taking down all the stories about him, his treehouse being cut down, and all the things that he solved as he's a child.
Because they weren't really solved.
They solved them. The only one that was confirmed not real was the framed donation one. But it was just like, it's like now he's not. None of that matters anymore. That was a child. Yeah, he's grown up now. I think that's what it signifies. And I like. Did you notice on the door it had the kid detective, and then when he's an adult, he just scraped off kid. So the detective is
detective.
It's
spaced out.
It's not centered anymore.
I didn't notice that.
But she comes to visit him in the office, and he asks her, "So have you talked to Gracie yet?" And she goes, "She's just a child."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's my mom, but she's just a child.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're the same age now, they're both 14. I think that, no, she's got to be 16 because she's got a driver's license, 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, she's more mature than Gracie was when she was kidnapped, and I guarantee that she is regressed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 20
stunted
years.
and regressed.
Yeah, she's not 14 anymore mentally. She's
I don't think there's really going to be any sort of normal relationship between a mother and daughter at that point.
Never.
And then the very ending when he's like starts to cry on the couch.
How did you interpret that, Tyler?
I think it was a accumulation of like the trauma that he had just experienced. Like, I don't think
trauma of what?
Witnessing
discovery
someone
of the
stabbing himself.
Okay.
the discovery of the Gracie in the cabin, or not cabin, shed.
Okay.
Witnessing someone who I don't know if he looked up to him, but respected.
Yeah, he was a
and
respected member of the
found
community.
out that he's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Also, him killing himself in front of Abe,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's like a coming to Jesus moment where he realizes that the world ain't so innocent. And
Okay.
I think it's so heavy on him for, like, I think that his idea of being a detective, that's what he liked. He liked the idea because he was always taking these like nickel and bag cases. So
Nickel and bag.
or nickel and dime, sorry.
You thinking dime bag?
Nickel and dime.
Druggy. What do you think about that, Joseph? You mentioned that earlier. Different ways you can interpret that.
The fact that probably he could have solved it when he was younger, or he failed. He feels like he failed at preventing this from happening. Something that he couldn't even imagine happening in this town. And the fact that the pressure was put on him, like, we're all counting on you. Like, the fact that they did it to him and then he did it to himself because he painted himself as like, I am this I am solving all these
smartest person in the world.
I am solving all these things, but I couldn't figure out this one, and I failed my friend.
Yeah,
and she has suffered because of this, and now this kid has
I
died.
forget that's her friend.
Also because of this.
Yeah, greatly suffered.
And his life has been like living in this town. People have looked down on him, like, for however long, and he's lived a miserable existence for a decade at least.
Yeah.
So it's probably all of that.
I took it as it was this entire time, like, as a kid, all the way up until this moment, we pick up on the story of his as an adult. He's pretending to have his shit together. Like, I can solve this murder mystery. And his parents are like, no, you're taking advantage of that poor girl. Yeah. And everyone's like, this is way too big for your britches. You can't do this.
Oh, yeah, and his parents not believing in him.
Oh, the scene of his parents following him was great too.
Yeah.
Whose car is this? This is Uncle Carl's. but it's like, I felt like you ever feel like as an adult, you're pretending to like have your shit together, but some days you're just like, I don't know anything. I'm just faking it, because I have no other choice,
No, I'm 100% confident in myself. I've never questioned the...
You know exactly that you don't know what you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing. No one can stop me.
I feel like that was that moment for him where he's been putting on a good face, like a strong face, for so long that he's like, I'm a capable kid detective and I'm not giving up. I'm still going to be doing it. And in his mind, he never let go of that case.
Yeah.
And finally, now it's all done. He's able to take a big breath and sigh of relief. And he just realized that he's had so much pressure put on him for so long that he's finally just like, fuck, I can't believe I've been under that pressure for that long. And he finally let go of it.
Well, in a way, he was also stunted at growth when she was kidnapped.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. Good
point. We could go on forever about good quotes too. Like he warned Caroline at the beginning, are you sure you want to know?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want it? Because you're going to go down this road and you'll find the truth, and the truth isn't always clean.
Yeah.
It's usually dirty. And at the very end, when she says, he goes, I'm really sorry that it worked out this way. And she goes, it's okay. You warned me. He goes, yeah, but I was just being pretentious.
Yes.
So like, he's aware that he's a friggin' joke in a way. But at the same time, he's good.
Yeah, he's a little
bit. He sets the little trap so he can get back into the house. He does the little trick about, who stole my beret? Oh, who ate the most cake in your friends?
Doesn't work if you have a fat friend.
Yeah, it only doesn't work if you have a fat friend. So he's got the trappings of a good detective.
Yeah.
But who knows if it's real or not. So
I mean, I would have loved for him to like interact with real detectives, and then him just getting like bitch slapped by real detectives.
Well, even better, you
like,
got bitch slapped by a child. Actually, no, he slapped him.
Basically, just like saying, "Stand down, kid.
Yeah.
We got it from here."
Yeah.
The the kids on the stoop, like those were the kids that he was scared. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like these kids are like driving fucking Hot Topic.
Yeah.
I liked the Caroline's acting. I liked her character was really weird.
Yeah.
And odd.
Subdued.
Because she seems like she would be of someone who is like a popular person, but she's just like this sort of weird, kind of quirky, looks worried all the time.
Well, you have to understand her parents were like ultra Christian or
Grandparents,
grandparents. So like, yeah, she's going to be a little weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, we already graded the damn thing. So let's see. What is next?
Patreon.
Yes, we have
next week.
Oh, yeah. So the Patreon picks next week.
We gotta start. When did you put this poll out?
So the first 2 months worth, the first 2 topics, I did it just like we're doing it this time. I was gonna say, well, we'll do it earlier in the month, but it is kind of fun to do it on the last week, so it's a surprise.
That's
and for this week, I'm not gonna be here for next week.
Oh, next weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving for Canada.
Yeah, he's going to the Great North
on Thursday. Thursday morning, I'm flying out. Yes, that one. So, whatever the Patreon members pick for you guys to review, it's not going to be me.
No.
It'll just be the 2 years. And then I'll just let Brianna know you guys are coming over.
Sweet.
Yeah. Do we just like when I went to Portugal?
Yeah.
So, all right. So
how did we do that? So I know we recorded, but I'm like, did I?
You
I don't remember. I know we did that. I don't remember doing like the uploading and all of that though.
I think Pete did that.
Maybe
maybe you did. I don't remember.
I don't remember doing it.
No.
Either way, I'll be back Sunday.
All right.
So I can do the uploads.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just upload because you had to edit it together and stuff too, huh?
I don't remember doing any editing.
I for sure did not do that.
Yeah. Maybe I just
dumped it
raw.
as is. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, the editing that I do every week for the show is really just kind of leveling.
Yeah.
I just level the audio from the different tracks and whatnot and make sure it sounds, sweeten it a little bit, get rid of the background noise a little bit. So
yep.
If it's not there, oh well, who cares? So anyways, we're not going to spin the wheel because that's next week, but we are going to be putting a Patreon poll out and encourage everybody, if you're listening to this and you're on the Patreon poll, if you like someone else's pick, like it, click it, heart it, give it a heart or a reaction or whatever.
Don't vote for your own.
Yeah, because if you say, oh, I want this movie, I want the Maltese Falcon, and then and you're reading that and someone else writes that down and you go, ooh, the Maltese Falcon would be good, just thumbs up it.
Yeah.
I'll count that as a second vote, basically. So we'll go just like we did last time until end of the day Thursday, and then you guys basically have Friday, Saturday to watch it.
Yeah.
Friday night and Saturday morning to watch it. Cool. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. If we want to do it differently, we could just start posting it first week.
What about the Patreon topics?
That's next. After next week, you guys will have to spin this to determine what May.
You mean this week?
No, next week.
No, what I mean is, yeah, when we meet up.
When you guys meet up, you're gonna spin this, and we have the cool ass yard duties. This half of the wheel.
Oh, it's already okay. The topic's already there.
80s and 90s erotic thrillers or post-apocalyptic dystopias. Those are already there.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll figure out what they want to watch for the entire month of July. Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Next month is July.
Yeah,
Yes.
July. So July will be one of those, and you guys will do the spin at that time.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Anything else you guys got?
That's it.
No.
No? Okay. Very good. Didn't you have a new drop on the board?
Waiting music.
There we go. So, thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. If you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just spread the word on the YouTube. Send a link to your friends or family, anybody that likes watching movies or likes listening to other people talk about movies, looking for more recommendations, people who like movie news, people who like live chat shows, any of that stuff. If you have a friend or a family member that fits that criteria, send them a link to the YouTube channel. That would be great. Until next time. Thank you for joining us today as we gab and we chatter. We talk about The Kid Detective. Thank you for joining us in the chat, everyone who is there. We had a little bit of Dallas, a little bit of Heather, and a little bit of Binge Lord Dan for a minute.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right. Well, I will see you in 2 weeks, but Joseph and Tyler will see you next week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
I should have just wrote, it's good.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.